Now, right here, what he's doing here, I have a problem with this because he's not directly answering the question. Indy is trying to find out what's going on at the Sambo factory that's making people behave like that. Now he's kind of bucksplaining whatever it was that he was able to use that deactivated that Zaddy magic. It must be wearing off and it's coming back. He's starting to buck his eyes and bucksplain again. Yo, what up? It's your boy Rob coming back at you once again with another video. So before we get started, you already know what to do. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit the bell icon twice. Smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and let's get into this content. Man, Duke and Don has been on fire. All right, on fire. You know what I mean? With the content. All right, this was a hot live stream that he did a couple days ago, and you know, you can see all of the all-star people who are on there, and we also have 360Blessings himself. He called in. Now, this is a raw reaction because I have not got a chance to see this yet, but my subscribers actually asked me to, you know, do a reaction video to the apology segment. All right. So that's what we're going to do right now. So I have a couple videos out there. Before you watch this video, I would suggest that you watch the videos where I've spoken about 360 before. And what I'd be interested to see is, you know, if there's any demeanor changes, you know, if he's apologetic, if the apology is genuine, because apparently there's some people who are questioning the realness of the apology. All right. So I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything yet. All right. But guess what? We're about to now. All right. So what I need to do is just find this screen. Okay. Check it out. Look at that. I got it. Here we go.
Actually, this, I mean, in your experience, have you ever seen a guy winning and girls weren't gravitating towards him?
No, totally.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Hey, I know what you mean.
Oh,
hey, real quick, guys. Yeah, this is 360. Hey, man, look, appreciate you showing up.
Seriously. Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to clear my name on your platform. To Anna,
okay. I see immediate changes. I'm wondering, do you guys? I'm like immediately. He seems more focused. Immediately he seems more concentrated. He doesn't seem as all over the place. He seems, you know, like he just might have a little bit natural, you know, he might be a little bit introverted. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the personality traits of an introvert versus an extrovert. Everybody may or may not be. If you are familiar with those, how about type them in the comments so that we have them up on the screen, you know, for the record. But he seems like he could be a little bit introverted, and I kind of picked that up from him also the other day when you know, he was on the call with Duke and Don. So he seems a little bit introverted, but he seems a little bit more confident today, and he also seems more coherent with conveying his thoughts. So automatically I see some differences. However, those differences are only presentation differences. Let's see if there's a change in mentality.
So sorry about what I said. I had no business coming to your DMs, but I want to say what I said on the podcast before on the last time was what I did was absolutely immoral. And yeah, to any dude out there, you shouldn't be out there doing that specific thing, because I had a lot of people coming into my DMs from what's his name, Abba and Preach, as well as your podcast, doing the same thing to me. So it's crazy, and it's dead wrong. You know what I'm saying? So I just want that to be out there for the record. I'm so sorry, 100% sorry, and I just want to clear my name from that. But yeah, God bless you guys and have a good day, man.
No,
All of y'all.
don't go nowhere. Don't go
Oh, 360, 360. Oh no, he took. Oh, he's gone. Hey, but he said he's free. That hey man, hey 360. If you can hop back on, man, we got quite. Man, answer some questions. They want to talk to you, man. First of all, I want to say thank you for doing that. This is what a man does. You step to the face and you say apologize to who was hurt to their face, and this was done. If you're listening, come back on, man. Allende has some questions for you. Anna has some questions for you. But while we're waiting for that, Allende, do you mind taking some questions from the audience?
Absolutely.
All right.
While y'all do those, I'm gonna run to the restroom.
Go do your thing, girl. Do your thing. So Allende. So one of them wants to ask is Myron Preston's charges. This is from Janie.
Okay. Well, see, here's the thing. I would not just be talking about this stuff if I didn't talk to certain people first. So I spoke to my associates that are detectives, not only just detectives, but detectives in Miami. And there's a few reasons why that case couldn't go anywhere. Okay. Now, number one, I didn't break it into. There was no B&E. He's lying like he always does, and I don't even know why. It's just crazy because he lies, and I'm like, how did you even?
Yeah, that's true. If you watch my live stream, and I actually tagged him in there, there's you can hear where he acknowledges he calls his name, and the door. I mean, it's not really closed. You know what I mean? Like it's just kind of like cracked, and he just kind of what the quote loud noise was actually just like him walking in. There was no like kicking the door in, kicking the door away, then the 4-4. Yeah, that didn't happen.
Said they broke the door down. In the video, the door was fine.
Right, he lies about shit. I'm just thinking to myself, why would you tell a lie that's so easy to see through? But then he has such a large percentage of people that believe it. He has tens of thousands of people that believe this dumb shit.
That's because those people, they don't believe in reality. They believe in him because he's manipulated their reality just like he manipulated 360, because that's what people like him do. You know what I'm saying?
When you can see for yourself.
That's called you know what? That's called gaslighting. All right. I think I'm gonna put the definition for that up on the screen real quick, because people use these terms, and a lot of times I don't think they really know the true definition. All right. So I think that people should actually learn what the definitions of some of these things are, so that when they're confronted with this kind of thing, they actually have the necessary tools and necessary knowledge to be able to combat it. Because if you don't have that and you just say a bunch of stuff, then you're not really doing anything effective. All right. So what we're talking about here is gaslighting. All right. Gaslighting is colloquialism that is loosely defined as making someone question their reality. So if you can get someone to stop questioning, or if you can get someone to stop believing their own inherent reality, and they believe you at face value before they believe themselves, before they believe their own senses, well, then they've been successfully gaslit. All right. The term is also used informally to describe someone, usually a narcissist, who is a gaslighter, who persistently puts forth false narratives. All right. So this is a person who persistently puts forth false narratives, which leads another person or group. So, you just heard Authentic Alpha say, well, he had thousands of people. Well, thousands of people is a group. That's why I'm not part of a group. Remember how I always said that I'm not part of a group? Well, this is why. To doubt their own perceptions to the extent that they become disoriented and distressed. Now, let's dive into this rabbit hole just a little bit deeper before we get back into the video. If you listen to my content frequently, as everyone on the planet should, okay, I constantly talk about a post-truth society. You guys remember what a post-truth society is? A post-truth society is like current day United States, where 99% of the population is completely detached from reality, because they've completely detached any kind of meaningful assertion of fact. The only thing that matters are identifying and emotional responses to repeated talking points. Sounds to me like the entire planet has been gaslit on a macro level, but on a micro level, we have this going on, with individuals, peer-to-peer gaslighting. Okay. This dynamic is generally only possible when the audience is vulnerable. Now, so you remember when I talked about this kind of thing, I said they get these people that have mush brains. All right. And, I was talking about 360 and I said he's a young, impressionable person. We dive into it, then, talk about a little bit of trauma going on. So if there's some trauma going on, then that means that the person is vulnerable. Anytime you've been damaged, anytime you've had trauma, that means that you're vulnerable. The dynamic is generally only possible when the audience is vulnerable. So most of these people have dealt with some trauma. Most of these people that are in these little pus-filled packets on the internet where hate, racism, and misogyny brew, they're victims of maybe being dumped or played or, cheated on or something like that. And again, I don't wish that on anybody. All right. But if you don't heal properly from that stuff, you become worse than the person who committed those atrocities against you. And that's the problem. Instead of going to a therapist, instead of going to a psychologist, what's actually going on is we're finding flocks of these people going to other people who are a little bit mentally stronger and a little bit more evil, who want to manipulate those people. Okay. The dynamic is generally only possible when the audience is vulnerable, such as in unequal power relationships, or when the audience is fearful of the losses associated with challenging the false narrative. It sounds like one of the reasons why people are scared to stand up to the system of illegitimacy. But that's another live stream for another day. Gaslighting is not necessarily malicious or intentional, although in some cases it is. In my opinion, in all cases it is. In my opinion, it's never an optimal situation for any individual to not operate under the interpretation of their own reality. Everyone has the right to not have reality dictated to them by anything other than their senses and the forces of nature. All right, let's get to it.
The camera angle of Fresh's phone, because Fresh is who was taking that video. Now, from that perspective, you can see I'm holding the door the entire time and the door is intact.
Yeah.
The 20-second video that I released on my YouTube, you can see that I simply opened and unlocked the door.
Yeah.
So somebody sent me some video like he's posting some type of video or image of the door broken, but he doesn't clearly show the door broken.
Yeah.
He just verbally says that it's broken. But hold on. The thing is, even if that door was broken, he would have had to have broken it, which he would. He would go that far as to do that. Now, the fact that I used to work there, I know that door is always open. That door is never locked when they're recording. So I already knew that door was going to be open. So the B&E aspect of it is non-existent. There wasn't a break-in and entering. Now, what would be there is trespassing. So let me tell you why you can't get burglary, right? You can't get burglary because in order to get burglary, you have to have, trespassing or, dwelling, or unlawful dwelling of occupancy or whatever. Like, in other words, a place you ain't supposed to be. So you would need that component, and then you would need the component of the second crime. Whereas I would have to steal something, break something, assault somebody. I would have to do something else. So you don't have the combination of those two crimes to get burglary. I didn't steal shit, right? So, but then you don't get the breaking and entering because I didn't break anything. So the only thing you would have is a trespassing. And let me tell you why you don't have a trespassing. Because the video that he rushed to
say apologize to where to who hang on. I gotta mute you 360. 360, you gotta turn your turn the other if you're listening to it, turn it down. All right, perfect. Continue, Yende.
I really wanted to apologize to all the black people. For me, I'm so to all the black people in the chat, all the black people around the world that seen what I said. That was what I said. That's not what black people said. That's not how I want black people to be portrayed. I was a little bit tipsy the day that I did that, and I was just talking off my ass. That is not how black people are. I know a lot of black people around the world that don't act like that. in any way, shape, or form. Me personally, I've had a lot of things. I'm a college grad. I got my Bachelor of Science in Health Science, Healthcare Administration, and I have multiple tertiary degrees and licenses. And that is no way that I want Black people to be portrayed in any way, shape, or form. Secondly, I want to say something in regards to I've had many doors shut in my face because people looking at Black people and how we behave and displaying behavior like I previously did. And I want to come in here and correct that because I know what it means to have doors shut in my face because of something another Black person did. And I don't want to be that to come on this platform and do that. So I heard what you guys said, Duke and Don, I'm crazy and all that. And I understand where you're coming from, but I assure you, I'm a tax-paying citizen. I'm out here grinding, educating myself every day. I have multiple licenses, and I'm not here to boast. I'm not here to pride, but I just want to know you guys know the caliber of person I am. And then I want to apologize to my Igbo people, my Nigerian people that heard this. I am so sorry, so sorry from the bottom of my heart. My culture is everything to me. I was raised, I'm a son of my culture, and that I did one thing. I pray to God that you guys don't take that on my race or my culture back home.
That's not gonna happen.
Now, you know what? This is the thing. There's a lot of different ways that you can look at this. I actually think that it's good that he apologized that way. I actually think that it's good that he apologized that way. And I tend to disagree slightly with Duke and Don on this because we live in a country where if you listen to Neely Fuller, people need to listen to Neely Fuller, okay, about the state that the United States wants a certain segment of the population to stay in. And the thing is that, you know, the reality of it is that people will look at him and say, see, this is how they act. Again, that's part of the red pill. You know what I mean? Now, what I find funny is when you look into the comment section here, you have two different dividing lines. If you notice, you'll see a lot of brown hands clapping, saying this is good. This is a good apology. And then you'll see the other people like, what the hell is this? What is that? What are you talking about? What's going on? That's where you have the cultural divide. See, because if you've never had to deal with that, if you've never truly had to deal with it, if you're one of those Jordan Petersons or Joe Rogans, white men are losing their free speech, which means that you've already had it. You don't know what it's like for people to look at you other than the apex of society. People don't look at us like that. And every Black person knows that every Black person should have a commitment to every other Black person to always make Black people look as good as we possibly can in behavior, in finance, and in economics. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's not racism. It's not anti-white. It's not anti-anybody else. It's not anti-American. It's not communist. It's not Marxist. It's not any of that dumb shit that you hear Tucker Carlson or Sean Hannity sit there and cry about. It's none of it. It's the same thing that everyone else does for their culture and race. They want to try to make a good impression. It's one of the reasons why a lot of Asians score very high on their tests. It's one of the reasons why, other cultures have set up shop in other countries and created what you see today. It's one of the reasons why the Egyptians made the pyramids. It's one of the reasons why castles were built. It's one of the reasons why artifacts were made by ancient civilizations. It's because everyone wants to leave a positive mark. Everybody else is allowed to leave a positive mark, but when Black people attempt to leave a positive mark and take credit for it, everybody else seems to get offended. I'm going to read some of these comments to verify what I'm saying. So for the people in the comments to act like this is awkward, it's not awkward. And what you need to realize is that the reason why we're having this situation is because of the conditions that were created in this country. And you know damn well who created those conditions. So if you want the conditions to change, then you need to let them naturally change. I mean, most of you guys want to get a natural immunity, don't you? So if you want to get natural immunity to the problems that we have in the world, you know, the ones that require you to wear facial coverings, apply that same logic to the pandemic of racism that the CDC didn't quite manage. So let's actually listen to the rest of this, because now this is where this gets interesting, and this is where people reveal themselves. Because you got to ask yourself, he's being very sincere, and I really don't think that he wants to make this mistake. Because in my opinion, you can tell that he's being sincere because he didn't just say black. He said Igbo. I mean, he went down to the actual culture. So this is a brother that's in touch with his culture, which is something that the other part of the population doesn't realize, is that there's a whole segment of us who don't know where the hell we came from. So we can't identify with any culture, which is why a lot of lost people like us cry and try to identify with the dominant culture, which laughs at them and rejects them. I'd rather just be on the outside. I'd just rather be outside of it all before kissing people's asses that don't want me to be a part of it. You got me bent. But some people don't have that mental tenacity like I have. Some people aren't as hardcore as me. They have to be around other people. They need other people's acceptance and validation. So you get people who constantly want to try to climb the social ladder, and it's a game to the people that are higher than them in the social ladder. They see how far somebody can get, and then they knock them down. You know, you see this happen all the time. You know, you see it happen all the time. Do we need to start going down some examples? And the thing is that, you know, you turned this into race. No, I didn't turn anything into race. You want to know who turned stuff into race? Because there was tribes here first in America. There wasn't race here. The people that wrote the Constitution turned it into race when they showed up. So don't tell me when I'm talking about the United States that I ever turned anything to race. Take your ass to Washington, D.C. and go look in the Smithsonian and look at the signatures of your forefathers, the Freemasons. You know, George Washington, the guy that has Freemason over president on his memorial, that guy. Go look at the documents that he signed that created this country and its laws. And don't ever look at me and tell me that I brought race into anything, because I didn't. I'm not even responsible for bringing my ass here.
The fact that you're here, 360, the fact that you're here on a panel with the woman that you sent that message to her face, dude, this just instantly increase. You don't understand that this increases that respect factor. Like, seriously, this is a good thing that you did. Now, Allende, I mean, and I'm sure Anna has some questions.
It's really not about me. It's more so about I love black people all around the world. I preach unity, and I always, if you see me on the first podcast I came.
Now, see, this is the stuff that I don't understand. I don't understand how you can. I don't understand that. I don't understand how you can love black people, but you get your life coaching from white supremacists. I don't understand that. How does that work? This is why I'm saying these movements, these red pill, far right, nonsensical movements, they're anti-black for one at the core. And for two, it's the new Sambo factory. It's a new form of buck breaking.
Came through on. I preach unity. I've been preaching Fresh and Fit to cancel their stuff, because I love to see black people prosper. I can never be a part of any message that deteriorates or disintegrates.
And I'm consistent with my message. You guys can see me right here in the comments. If that's the case, then get away from that zaddy worship. And when I say get away from that zaddy worship, I'm not talking about, oh, you know, you can't be friends with any white people, or, you know, but nobody's saying that. What I'm saying is you need to find your own role models. Stop just listening to shit that somebody says, because other people are looking at you because of perceptions that they have about you. Everybody's not out to help you. There are some people that are good. There are some people that are really good, that genuinely want to help, but not all of these people. And again, you have to understand the 8chan, 4chan, far right, bunker dwelling nutcases that walk around with pockets full of C4 who came up with this stuff.
Integrates black people because I know how tough that we already have it right now. Because I've had doors shut in my face where I could have had good jobs. That's the reason why I went into the trucking business and went and had my truck, so I wouldn't have to have all this problem. So I'm so sorry for what I said, and I just hope y'all could give me.
Hey, let me tell you something, because you mentioned something. You mentioned something 360. I just want to clarify that. The fan, like literally, the audience don't think, like, when you came on, the reason why it was so crazy because you look like a clean cut dude, bro. That's the thing. So when they see a clean cut,
now see, like, if you pay attention to Duke and Don, you know, he's cool with everything that 360 is saying, but look at the disdain from the people in the crowd. That's nice of you, 360. Now just shut up. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, hold on, people. I thought all lives matter. So wait a minute. So you see this young black man here. He clearly understands that he did something wrong. He apologized to Anna. Clearly, you know, Anna doesn't care about standing up for herself. She'll stand up for herself. I mean, she, you know what I mean? She's been going at it with, you know, the whole fresh and fit cult. So she's clearly not a weak, intimidated woman. You know what I mean? She's not gonna sit there and let somebody talk to her crazy. She's content, not saying anything. You know what I mean? So clearly she's not offended. So if she's not taking offense to anything, and she said earlier in the video that she's a Christian conservative woman, so she's clearly not offended by anything. So you got to ask yourself, if Anna's not offended and you know everything is cool, why are the people in the chat offended? Because like I said, like, everybody's not the same. Everybody's not the same. The majority of these people in the chat are gaslit by the United States of America, and they just don't want to believe anything. In America gaslights things. They want to get rid of critical race theory. They want to stop teaching about the Tulsa, Oklahoma race riot, despite the fact that there's 3 100-year-old people down there now still trying to get justice. Well, Joe Biden just decided to make a bunch of minority housing programs for Latinos and Asians in the name of the Tulsa race massacre, while those people who actually got their families massacred are still alive in court, not getting any damn thing. But, you know, whatever, right? You know, nobody alive today, is responsible for that. So why does it matter? Wash my hands of this. Doesn't have anything to do with me, right? I got a question for you guys. Did you guys know that in Oklahoma there's a place called Dead Negro River? Why don't you go look it up on a map? So now, yeah, the Raven Flow here says Myron and Fresh don't even like black women. That's true. They've said some disgusting things about black women. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, you got to ask yourself, it's one of the things that I find interesting about, you know, people who have black mothers. How do you, I mean, these people are really like teaching this kind of stuff, you know, and they're making these comments about the demographic that, you know, one of your parents falls under. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy, man. That's crazy. So the people in the comments, these are what you call your Biden Demopublicans, your liberal Karens, casual racist pieces of crap like Bill Mayer. Well, as long as I'm defining what's racist against you, it'll make sense. But if you say it, then it's not. Now, you know, I like to try to, you know, present myself in public and articulate myself in a way where people make no question that somebody who's like me is capable of being just as good or just as intelligent as me. And I think that everybody in every culture owes it to themselves to be that way, right? If you played for the LA Lakers, you have a legacy of being an amazing basketball team. If you played for the Boston Celtics, then you have a legacy of being an amazing basketball team. That doesn't mean you hate the rest of the damn NBA. It doesn't mean that you genocide the rest of the NBA. And it doesn't mean that the rest of the NBA can function without the rest of the damn teams. It's kind of like that on the planet. Just so happens, pucker your asses, everyone. It just so happens that we're different. Now deal with it. However, because we have differences, we also have 5 senses, and we see those differences. And we understand how the brain works. And the brain associates traumatic events by creating its own stereotypical schematics. So if we all, as a human race, perpetuate our cultures, regardless of whatever culture we come from, as good as we can, and if we increase our interactions with each other and turn them positive, ultimately, if we do that progressively over time, we will be looking forward to interactions with each other because we're different, because of how good we are. We'll admire each other because of our differences. Because if we've eliminated all of our negative behaviors, we can only look forward to seeing the goodness in each other. If we just say, oh, I don't see color, that's taking the easy way out, because you do see color. Let me ask you a question. When a black person talks to another black person, does a black person say, I don't see color? No, not at all. Black people are very, we talk about how light or dark we are, or differences in our hair, eye colors all the time. And we just talk about it. White people do too. White people talk about freckles. White people talk about tans. White people talk about blondes. White people talk about redheads. And stop playing holier than thou. Everybody sees damn color. If any white person, any white man who's ever said, I don't see color. Oh, well, I mean, I'm looking at your pictures that you showed me, and it seems like every girlfriend that you had for the last 20 damn years is blonde. You don't see color, though. Really? So then did you happen to like order a wife from northern Russia or from Sweden or something? How did you just randomly run into all those damn blondes? I mean, you never ran into a redhead or a brunette anywhere along the line? Shit, there are a lot of brunettes around. Yeah, we all see color. It's okay. If you actually have a medical condition if you don't see color, and it's called color blindness, and usually it comes in red or green. I swear people come up with the dumbest shit because of stuff that they're not really comfortable dealing with. What I find the most interesting is that Anna, she just sitting there chilling and shit. I mean, she's not bothered by the shit. But look at how offended the people in the comments are. Like, this is crazy, man. Like, this is crazy.
African American man that is obviously you're doing what you got to do. You're handling your business, and then they see the contradiction in what you did. That's what blew their mind. But a lot of the messages that I read, people like, yo, like, pray for this man. We want to figure out what the heck is going on. Like, what would drive to that?
And see, and this is the thing, this is why you have to listen to Nilly Fuller. You got to listen to Nilly Fuller, because he talks about something called silly mode. And if you notice, there's a lot of the people that are the casual racists, and they think that people don't understand this. When somebody makes a revelation like what 360 made, he said, oh my God, now I realize the greater purpose. I've been being a media signal booster for all of these negative perceptions of the way black males are. I owe Miss Anna Quinn an apology because what I did was inappropriate. She's owed an apology. I apologize because I was wrong. Now what I need to do is I need to apologize to my culture because I portrayed my culture in a negative way. Now I need to apologize to my race because I portrayed my race in a negative way. Why is that? Why is something wrong with that? The only reason why there's something wrong with it is because we're always supposed to be portrayed in a negative way. When you wake up and realize that, now you become a problem. Because now you understand the importance of being intelligent, strategizing, and building things. And when you wake up and become aware of that, and you start working toward that, now you are a direct threat to the system of illegitimacy that holds the United Snakes of America together. 360 just became a threat. And you can see the people in the chat react, which means that there's an unspoken code of expectations among non-Black people of how Black people are supposed to behave. It's one of the reasons why I'm ostracized in society. I have a ton of education and, people don't want me around anywhere because I don't give a shit. I'm going to say what the fuck I want and do what the fuck I want. And if you don't want to, do business with me, I'll do business with myself and create my own. I'm very intelligent. I can build whatever I need to do. That's a threat because now you're not dependent on the system. You just unplugged yourself from them. Now that's the real red pill. You just unplugged yourself from the real matrix. And as you can see, the squiddies are out.
I'm 100% good.
But I know they have some questions to ask you.
Oh yeah, let me just finish off. I just want to talk to my Igbo people. I'm a man of my culture. I'm a man of my faith. And Ndibo Kwenu, Awumo Igbo, Bikonu, Obnunu, Ahaben Obunu. Biko, forgive me, bro.
Man, and his brother is bilingual? This brother is bilingual. That's proof right there. What I said was correct. These red pill things, they're Sambo psyops for young Black men for buck breaking. That's why they're run by white supremacists. He's like a white supremacist trap house, and Black people are the drug.
So 100% sorry, bro. I'm culture, bro, and I am 100% with you and will never do anything to embarrass the image of Nigerians all across the world, bro. I am so sorry to God who made me. Thank you guys so much.
So hold on, 360.
What's up?
I have only one question for you, but
see, and this person right here, Khalif, says elders got to him. Facts. That's why they don't teach you anything about your elders. So why when in my chat the other day, when someone asked me about Jordan Peterson's not my elder. It's the same thing as milk. I never drank milk because humans don't produce milk. The kind that we buy in the store is produced by a damn cow. You wouldn't drink cat milk. You wouldn't drink dog milk. What the hell are you drinking cow milk for? If it's not coming from your mom, which is genetically made specifically for you, just like how the milk from a cow or a dog or a cat is made specifically for those three animals, the milk from your mom is made for you, then it will corrupt you. Jordan Peterson's message is not for me. I don't need to take that shit in. It will corrupt me. I have people who are equivalent to him in my own society and immediate circle that I can get messages similar to from. I don't need the dictation. I don't need to be force-fed cow milk, and I have a mom. I don't need to be force-fed Jordan Peterson when I have a dad. That's for people who don't have guidance. That's why he found this nonsense, because he doesn't have guidance. That's why it's so important for parents to make sure that your kids know the correct direction that they're going in. And that's why it's important for parents to stay around for their kids, so somebody doesn't take your kid. These people are nothing more than brain pimps, mind pimps, soul pimps. That's why they want to take your soul, because they're soul pimps. Didn't it look like he's not possessed anymore? Somebody washed his ass with some holy water or something. I have friends who are Latino, you know what I'm saying? Fully Latino. My friends are like fully Latino. The women have a quinceañera. That's for Latino women. boys of certain cultures that you're not allowed to talk about on the internet. If you even mention them, they'll give you a channel strike. They partake in a celebration called a bar mitzvah. It's becoming a man. That's for that culture. It's not for everybody. There's all kinds of cultural initiations across all cultures. Now, nobody says, well, how come you just don't go celebrate a bar mitzvah, Rob? I mean, why would I? That's not my culture. I mean, they have all the right to do that. And, clearly, they have a lot of successful people, they come to a lot of important conclusions, when they do the bar mitzvah and start the path of their life. And, a lot of times those people are usually very successful. I'm not that culture, though. That's not for me. I don't need to do that. I have my own, things that I do. I have my own traditions from my own family because, our culture was cut off by this country. I have to throw that in there to remind you. But yeah, so that's not racist. Sorry, guys. But see, when you reject notions from the dominant society, you can always tell the people who are on code and covertly racist, because then they get really upset and offended because you're just not supposed to say no. Wait a minute, you're black. There's no way you're smart enough to be able to go through life without anything this zaddy has in a book. Yeah, are you serious? I'll pass. Okay. I'll pass. That's the cultural overtones here in the United States, ladies and gentlemen. That's your red pill. How about that? You guys are going to get some red pills tonight. Some good ones, pure ones, potent ones, fresh off the printer that actually work. Not those ones booted with fentanyl that they hand out at the Sambo manufacture plant down there in Miami.
Before I ask you that question, I want you to think about the answer while I ask Anna the question I want to ask her. The thing is, I have no idea what you said. I know people are really pissed about it, but I have no idea what you said. So I'm going to ask you the question that I want to ask you, but I don't want you to answer it just yet. I'm going to then go over to Anna and ask her a question, and I want you to think about the answer. So the question that I have for you is, why did you say what you said? Now, think about that. Anna, what did he say? I have no idea.
Myron preaches truth and logic. Suck his D or shut up thought.
Oh, I saw that somewhere.
Yeah.
Okay, now let me 360. You need some more time because that's I don't know where that came from.
Can I say?
I just want to say, did you see that? Myron preaches truth and logic, right? Is Myron the same culture as 360? Is Myron the same culture as any of those people that go to those things? No, it's a diverse group of people. However, you can see that this kid has a strong link to his culture. So those messages that Myron is giving him, he should be getting those from his home. He should be getting those from his home. They should not be coming from Myron. Because if he gets those messages from his home, the people at his home actually love him and they actually want to see him do good in life. So they're going to program him to do good in life. Myron wants to be made to look better. So Myron is going to program him to do the things that he did. Always defend Myron. Always make Myron look good. He's been programmed to act against his own self-interest. That's the same thing that we do when we go to the voting booth and we check off Democrat or we check off Republican. Any vote that we make in this country, black people, is against our interest. But yet 89% of us decided to vote for Biden, the blue wave bigot, the KKK hugging segregationist. And you can't escape it because you got the far right with Marjorie Taylor Greene and her cross burner loving ass. And on the left, you got Joe Biden, who's burying, you know, Robert Byrd and people like that. Him and Hillary Clinton. You know, these people all love their cross burners. And as I showed you guys in the last video, we got Margaret Sanger. I mean, she wanted to set up a meeting with the women's chapter of the KKK. No vote in this country is for your interest. And the reason why you keep voting is because you keep getting influences pounded into your head by people that don't care about your interests. They're people that only care about you in an ancillary way, not in a vested interest loving way. The government doesn't love you. Your next door neighbor doesn't love you. Your mom loves you. Your dad loves you. That's where those messages need to be coming from. Myron doesn't love you. Myron loves what you can do for him. Just like the United States government. They don't love you, black people. They love what you can do for them. Olympic gold medals, you know, billions of dollars from, you know, rap and hip hop culture, entertainment. They love that. They love the fact that they can use a black person in order to lie to other black people and get them to believe the fake ass dream illusion of the United States. They love that. So you're not loved in this country because of just how great you are. You're loved in this country because of what you can do and how destructive you can be. And how you can be used to keep other people under control. That's what you're used for. That's what you're loved for.
Say some
Yeah.
about that. I think it's really crummy. It's one thing if, you know, other Nigerians have been coming to you saying like, you're representing for us poorly. But I just want to say, if this is like, if any white person is saying that, like, or if anyone is misinterpreting.
Guys, this isn't a race thing. It's more.
No. Let her make the point. Let her make her point.
If anyone thinks that you're representing Nigerians in a negative way just because of what you said, like, no, I don't think that at all. I have a lot of friends who are Nigerian and proud, and I love them to death. And I would never like look at one person's response or one person's message and be like, oh, well, it's because.
And see, that right there. And again, like, I'm not trying to go in on Anna Quinn, but that's even the problem with people who aren't racist, because people who aren't racist assume that everybody else is like them. They're not. We just went through a period in a time in this country where they were showing nothing but black people, saying that black people were going around doing all of this harmful stuff to AAPI people, and that they were doing it simply because they were AAPI, which just wasn't the case. There were some people that were, but not all of them. The majority, according to the FBI report, 71% of the people who did that stuff weren't even black. Now, if what Anna Quinn is saying is true, then on the news, every individual case of an AAPI hate crime, the individual assailant would have been shown, but that's not what happened. What ended up happening was ABC took clips from the Watts riot and they repeated the same 4 or 5 crimes on the TV. And this is documented. You can look this up. And if you have a problem looking stuff up, all you got to do is just go to my playlist called AAPI Hate Crimes. It's all there. Then a couple days later, after all of this propaganda, a young white man in Atlanta guns down 6 Asians. And guess what? It's not a hate crime. And we hurry up and get him off of the TV. And, you know, the chief of police said, oh, well, this young man must have just been having a bad day. Well, his bad day ended 8 people's lives. 6 of them happened to be Asian. But we're not going to put him all over the media. So there are these perception images. There are these perception misconstruities. But the problem is that certain people don't see them. So what Anna Quinn got to understand is that you're an individual and you yourself may not feel that way. But the unfortunate reality is that 98% you're like that bacteria that Lysol can't kill, because Lysol kills 99.9% of bacteria. right? So you don't have problems with people and you don't look at people in that light. But we have a whole mainstream media that continuously bombards people who are easily impressionable to make them associate certain things with certain people. You may not be that, but you have to understand that just because you're not like that doesn't mean that everybody's not like that. In this country, most people are. Not to mention, in the background, there's a mainstream media propaganda machine. And then again, there's another mainstream media Hollywood propaganda machine where we have white people that own these rap companies that tell these rappers what to rap about. You know, the A&R from Jersey Shore, you know what I'm saying? That looks like Mikey. You know what I mean? Says here, I'll give you $100,000 if you go platinum. Make up this song about shooting up Manhattan. And you get some kid from the ghetto and they do it. And so now you see the rap culture and it looks exactly like what you see on TV. And who's doing all of this stuff? Who's involved in all of this debauchery? It's the black people. We pay a lot of money in this country to keep the propaganda going. And there's a lot of propaganda going that we don't even know is propaganda. I've never heard a white person tell some black person that they look like a standout black person. Well, and the problem is that most white people don't know any standout black people. They're so used to the news and the government declaring who a standout black person is. Oh, but you know, Dr. Martin Luther King is just so amazing. Dr. Martin Luther King is very far down on my priority list. One of the people that I respect the most is somebody like Dr. Claude Anderson, who created national plans for advancement, self-sufficient plans. You don't need to choose Martin Luther King for me. I know why you identify with Martin Luther King, because you literally use Martin Luther King's rhetoric for your racist dog whistles. Oh, it's the color. It's not the color of anybody's skin. It's the content of their character. Well, you know what I find the most interesting is that line, that little line, okay? It comes from a speech that the mainstream America, and I give credit to my man Izzy for telling me this because I didn't know this back in the day. And then I went and looked it up after he told me it was true. Mainstream America decided to just rename this speech. We're going to rename this speech. We're going to rename this speech that this black man was talking about. We're going to name it the I Have a Dream speech. Make things consistent with our nice little napkin. I have a dream, and it's to be a part of the American dream. The name of the speech, as Martin Luther King named it, was a canceled check. And the reason why it was called a canceled check was because it was about the slavery reparations that the United States owes black people. But we had to change the speech. Now, am I sitting here asking for reparations? No, because in my opinion, that's not the way to go about it. You have to take, not ask. So that's another discussion for another day. However, let's talk about the changing of the name of the speech. The speech is called a canceled check. So if you agree with the speech, then clearly you agree with the latter. Well, we'll change the name of the speech so that these black people don't start talking about that. And we'll just repeat one line of it until the rest of it just gets faded away. What about when Martin Luther King said, I made a mistake? I made a mistake diving headfirst into integration. We should become self-sufficient before we integrate. Oh, they don't tell you about that. Oh, that was his most recent thoughts too, before he was assassinated by the very people he was trying to work with.
It's because he's black, or it's because I wouldn't let your response reflect on your whole culture. And anyone who lets that
So
is messed up.
what do you have to say to his apology to Anna? Like, because when we first got on, she's not.
There you go. Then you got Charles Cooper in the comments. Stop colorizing it. Really? Well, Mr. Cooper, let me ask you a question. Did you ever stop colorizing any signs outside of a damn bathroom? No. This is a situation that was not caused by Duke and Don or anybody in his family, predecessors, ancestors, 360, or Authentic Alpha. We didn't colorize a damn thing. There was only one color where we were. So don't ever tell somebody like us to stop colorizing anything, because we never did that. We're dealing with what we're dealing with, the pile of shit we were dropped in. That's what we're doing. And it's about time that you start getting your hands dirty too.
Pissed off at you. I just want to let you know that she came on just to hear you out. So that's part of the reason why she's here. But Anna, go ahead.
No, we're good. We're good. And I really appreciate you for actually like coming on and apologizing, because it's way harder to say that and way harder to come back after you've said something.
Guaranteed, most people.
It's not about race. Look, here's somebody saying it right now. They're crying and face is red and hair is matted. It's not about race. No, it is about race. It's just not about your race. He did apologize to Anna, and Anna accepted his apology. Now he's apologizing to the other people that he owes an apology to. Other black people, for making black people look bad when we already have enough issues. He's doing exactly what he's supposed to be doing. And the reason why these people in the comments are so offended is because, oh, I just don't want to hear about the way that, the world really works. He's not even talking to you guys. He's not even talking about you guys. When a quarterback performs poorly, they always say, this isn't a reflection on my team. You know what I mean? My team is hardworking. I've had some issues, and hopefully I'll be better for the next game. Nobody has a problem with that. When a cop does something dumb like lay on somebody's neck for 8 minutes, the police department says, oh, that was the actions of the individual officer. We just want to make sure you guys understand that. It doesn't reflect the department. But when he says, these are my individual actions, they don't reflect the actions of my culture, you have a problem with it. Let that burn into your brain. And then I'd like you to explain to me how 360 doing what he did is any different from what anybody else does when they want to make sure that people know that their actions were not a reflective of the collective. You see, it's a problem that he confronted these people and said, this is not reflective of my culture. Because in the United States, the implied understanding is that this is reflective of Black culture.
People who are, because he's not the only one, but the other people who did that, they won't have the balls to do what he just did.
Yeah.
Well, that's the reason why I asked him why, because
this stuff is bigger than one particular country or race. Really? It is? What? The elites? The conspiracy theorists? Here's a hint. What do you think that conspiracy theory was? What was the global conspiracy? Those Freemasons you talk about. The Jesuits that you talk about. Those people, Bilderberg. What did they set up all around the world? They set up a system to give a certain group of people privilege. That's the damn conspiracy. Who were the forefathers of the United States? What organizations were they part of? Oh, they're part of those secret society organizations. You want to talk about maritime admiralty law? Oh, yeah, I know about maritime admiralty law. We're all slaves to the financial system because we're slaves to the financial system because our bodies is tied to a weight in dollars. You're not tied to the financial system. We are. Maritime admiralty law is based on shipping people over maritime, which is the ocean. You all were never shipped over the ocean. There's only one group of people on the planet who were human trafficked all over the place against our will, and it's us. And globally, the representation of that maritime admiralty law, the yellow fringes on the flag, is an unspoken code of solitude to continuously suppress and keep us as prisoners through some form of subjugation, whether it's financial, whether it's chattel, whatever. Maritime admiralty law, universal commercial code, the real color of law. Your ancestors weren't shipped overseas. You were never sold over open waters. You sailed the waters at your own free will. My ancestors were shipped over waters. You're not part of no financial matrix. You benefit from it. The global conspiracy theory was set up to service you, with us as the servers. You have to be half-witted and half delusional to not understand this stuff.
I'm be honest with you, 360. I really don't care about. I don't care about what the hell you got going on. I'm not saying that to belittle you. Just, I really don't care. What I'm looking at is the bigger picture, which is why do we have guys getting into the DMs and making any type of harassing type of comments at all? I'm really curious as to like the why are there certain
so the reason
people doing that?
Hold up. The reason is look, it happens, bro. And just give me a second. Let me get my point out. When I did it to her, yo people, Don and Duke's people did it to me. Abba and Preach people did it to me. It happens.
No, you cannot.
Hold on, let me hold on, bro. Hold on.
Something that you said.
Sir, excuse me. Hold on. These are the type of things that happen when you're dealing with social media, and I'm 100% sorry. I can't really defend someone else or what other people do, but like this happens, man, and I'm 100% sorry about what I said. And it's not about why did I
now see now right here 360 is kind of skating away from the question, because what Authentic Alpha is asking him is what goes on at these places that will cause people to do that. And I think what he's trying to understand is are these people at these places directing people to do this stuff? I think that's what he's asking.
Say it's obviously I was heated. It was an emotional response. I felt like I had to fend or fight for my podcast because that's what you're
that's what I'm looking
for. Hold on, let me finish my point. That's what people in your sector did to me too. I'm not saying that it's wrong. It is wrong, but I'm not saying that it's
this person here says this isn't a reflection on Nigerians or even black people, not in the micro slightest. Really? That's interesting. That's funny. So do you think the Central Park Karen or Soho Karen or Victoria's Secret Karen or any of those damn Karens, do you think they believe that? What about the people that wrote the bell curve? What about the people who run these damn Sambo camps? A lot of them wrote books called The Color of Crime. So basically, what we have here is, as long as we're controlling the definition of the word and you're obedient to our control, everything is fine. Everything is running as operational. But the moment you stray away, the moment you start to think for yourself, ooh, doggy, now we got a problem. Interesting. Very interesting.
better for me.
But you felt what it was like. That's what I'm saying. You felt what she was going through.
It's something that's gonna keep on happening to the end of time.
But that's what we don't want.
No, 360. It's not gonna keep happening to the end of time. See, there's me in the comments right there. So again, I'm being consistent. These people at that podcast don't claim you like you claim them. They'll throw you under the bus, which they've thrown them under the bus. But now, if I say this right here, the people in the comments are calling me racist when I haven't said anything racist. I haven't said anybody's better than anybody else. I've simply only stated historical facts that can't be debunked. They just happen to hurt your tender ass. Well, if they hurt your tender ass, go get a tux pad. But that doesn't qualify me as racist. Doesn't qualify me as prejudice, because I don't not like people because of their race. I don't have that issue. I get along with a lot of different people. I don't tell people who they should be with. I don't tell people who they shouldn't be with. I don't tell people who to worship. I don't tell people any of that shit. But there are actual people that actually do that from all different aspects of life. And a lot of those people are the first people to tell you that you're racist or you're not qualified to be a part of your culture. I simply, try to stay on lines of history, and that's upsetting. Everybody's upset. Good.
That's the thing. We want to reduce the amount of that, though. So if there's a mentality that's causing that.
I'm a pragmatic person, and it's gonna happen to the end of time. All I could say is, for what I did, I got caught red-handed. I outed myself. I thought I was right. I thought I sounded psychologically, mentally stable when I said it. But
no, you didn't. You didn't sound psychologically or mentally stable whatsoever at all. And like they saying that 360 apologized for the wrong reason. I don't think he apologized for the wrong reason. He gave 2 apologies. The first actually, he gave 3 apologies. He gave an apology to Anna, and he said that he was wrong and that he shouldn't have done it and that there was no excuse for what he did. The second apology was to black people for making black people look bad, which the reaction is that white people don't want to acknowledge that they look at black people badly. The third was more specific to his specific culture. He gave 3 apologies. All of those apologies were for the right reason. Anna simply said, I don't look at you like that because of, what happened. I don't look at black people like that because of what happened. This is what I'm saying about when it comes to people in the comments. A lot of times people in the comments, they're not even in the same reality as what's going on in the video. Now, right here, what he's doing here, I have a problem with this because he's not directly answering the question. Indy is trying to find out what's going on at the Sambo factory that's making people behave like that. Now he's kind of bucksplaining. Whatever it was that he was able to use that deactivated that Zaddy magic, it must be wearing off and it's coming back. He's starting to buck his eyes and bucksplain again.
On reflection and going to look back at it, I'm like, whoa, I should never said half of the stuff I said. I shouldn't even be on this platform. I should be in my life trying to become the best person I could be, building myself up. And I have nothing else to say about that issue, but I'm 100% sorry to anybody who I offended from any race, culture, whatever. God bless you guys. Have a good day, y'all. Thank you guys so much.
Hey, thank you so much for coming on 360.
So you all heard my thoughts. And just like when I give my thoughts, a bunch of butthurt people unsubscribe. So I guess I'll be looking forward to that in the morning. So my question, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not of the weak, lily-spined variety, and you can actually talk about difficult things without crying about it, how do you feel about this? What I find interesting out of all of the commentary and everything that was said was that at the end of the day, when pressed to actually find out what was going on at Fresh and Fit, that causes people to do those kind of things on their behalf, he still put up the defenses to protect Myron. And then he left the phone call. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that's the end of this discussion. I hope you enjoyed it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you already know what to do. Make sure you smash the like button, share this video out to all of your followers, and I will catch you on the next video. Peace.
What are the white supremacists doing now? They're doing four basic things: racial showcasing, racial population tailoring, racial dislocation, and white sacrificing. And these four things are designed to produce maximum sophisticated confusion among the victims. And so far it's been somewhat successful worldwide. Now I'll start with the first one. What is racial showcasing? That means taking huge numbers of black people and putting them out front. There's going to be more of this all over the planet. Many millions of black people that you will see who will be rolling in money. They'll be able to showcase the places where they live. They'll be able to showcase their knowledge and expertise. So you have television now, you have all of the mediums for doing this, for showcasing huge numbers of black people. I will say it will eventually run into the millions, so many that you won't be able to count them. Now, what is this for? This is for any black person that starts talking about racism in the future is going to be laughed at, because they're going to be able to showcase so many black people who are what you call quote unquote successful, that it will seem that racism has been put out of business. But white supremacy is a world business, and like any other business, it works on profits and losses, which means percentages. You go into business, you expect a certain amount of loss. If you're in the grocery business, well, you might have a load of asparagus that is spoiled. But overall, you will make more profits than you have losses if you're going to stay in the business. Now, so the white supremacists know that the cost of doing the business of white supremacy is going up. They can no longer get away with Joe Louis and Lena Horne like they did years ago. They have to have many more black people who are going to be showcased. I made up this term just to explain it. You have to make up terms, because they won't make them up for you. So now that's the first phase, or one of the first elements in the maximum confusion. And so that black people won't be able to say, they'll say, well, you know, it must be something wrong with me that I'm down and out and don't have a biscuit to eat, because there are so many millions of black people who have so much, so it can't be race. But see, for the 4 or 5 million black people who will be showcased, there will be hundreds of millions worldwide who won't have a biscuit. That's the way the business operates in the future and will be. That's the way it seems to be going, according to what? The evidence, according to the logic. The other is racial population tailoring. That's number 2, meaning they're going to be killing huge numbers, either directly or indirectly, of non-white people. When I say black people, I mean, you know, non-white. Anybody who's in the non-white category, and doing this on an ongoing basis. Not to try to kill them all, because when you're in the business of racism, you don't kill off the thing that you need in order to keep racism going. Your ego trip, which is what it's really all about. But you do tailor the population so you can keep them controlled. So you'll kill off a few million in the Congo, then few years up the road, you'll kill off a few million in Nigeria, and a few years up the road, you'll kill off a few in Mexico, and on and on and on. And you will highly select the places where you do this. You'll have it all computerized, where you kill off huge numbers, or you have them, even better still, kill off each each other, like you do in most of the cities in the northwestern part of the world, called the northwestern hemisphere. Having black people gun down each other, you know, non-white people, the brown people gunning down each other, gangs and all that other foolishness, see, and you kill them off, you know, and you just keep this going and you egg it on, and you put things in place that will see to it that it just keeps going that way. It never stops, because that's the mentality of the people. And this is racial population tailoring. In other places where the people are reasonably sane, they don't have a tendency to kill off each other, then you do things like dry up the water, or poison the rivers, dump toxic waste. There's all kinds of ways to do that racial population tailoring. All right, then the other, number 3, is racial dislocation. Keep them moving. People who are forever on the move through eminent domain, urbanization, urban renewal, gentrification, or, here again, drying up the river. You build a dam 800 miles up, and the river seals off the water behind the dam. I mean, the dam is sealed off, the river is sealed off behind the dam. So that means that all the people down in the valley there, they don't get any water. They need water. They depend on the fishing industry. So now they have to come and work for you, because there's no more water there, no more fish. And you give them minimum wage and a promise for the future as long as they look up to you. So they'll know they're completely dependent. But keep them moving. If a black person in the northwestern hemisphere starts getting that second generation house, then you come through and say you got to build a highway. That's the technique. Now these are things that you asked about how the white supremacists operate. These are the ways that they operate. The white sacrificing is the 4th. And this is, here again, all 4 of these things are for maximum sophisticated confusion among the victims. So you're not confused. You're keeping your victims confused. So you have white sacrifices, meaning it's kind of parallel to the racial showcasing. But these people in this case are white. Like in any army, or any military operation, you know you're going to have some losses. So some white people are written off under the system of white supremacy. And a lot of white people are aware of this. They don't like it, but they are told that this is the cost of doing business. Just like a person who goes into the army and knows full well you might get killed, but it goes with the territory of trying to defend your bigger operation. So white sacrifices mean you'll have more and more white people on park benches, more and more white people begging on streets. They will be greatly visible. But what you won't pay attention to, because black people never pay much attention to what white people are doing, we just watch each other. See, they know that. You'll be passing millions of white people who are doing well on any city street. And for the handful of white people who have fallen through the cracks, you might say, sitting in front of the subways or begging in front of these delicatessen, for the handful that you see doing that, up under the bridge and all like that, it will give the illusion that it's not about race, that white supremacy is officially out of business. So there will be more of these white sacrifices, and they will be greatly visible. But compared to the number of white people who will be prospering